Hi there, and thank you for stumbling on my new channel. I decided to make this video because I couldn't find any videos solving my problem without paying for it. Me being an experienced handyman, it took me a few minutes to figure out what was wrong and how to fix it. I wanted to share my experience and save you a buck on hiring a repairman to come out. There are a few models of SideKick washers, but they are all built very similar, and this video will get the job done. The problem I was running into was my LG SideKick washer wouldn't open normally. The washer drawer would open an inch or two and then suck back into its resting position. If you are having the same problem, I will give you step-by-step instructions on how to fix your washer. Eventually, I found out that the lid to the washer was broken and keeping the drawer from opening properly. Since I hadn't dealt with repairing this unit before, I didn't realize this was the problem. But you are watching this video, so you are getting the spoiler to the problem-solving process. Step 1. Collect your tools that you will need for the project. All these are basic hand tools that you might have laying around the house or you can get at your local hardware store. Number 1, I like to always have a small container to put my screws and miscellaneous parts that I take off of my project. Number 2 is a long common screwdriver. This will be helpful in getting to the tab that is keeping the drawer ajar. Number 3 is a Phillips screwdriver, and number 4 is a needle nose pair of pliers. Also, I used a bath mat to be on my knees comfortably to work on this project. There's nothing worse than running around collecting tools as you're working on a project and starting and stopping and forgetting where you're at and maybe misplacing some screws or getting distracted. So make sure you collect up all your tools before you start this project. Okay, now for step 2. We're going to remove 4 screws from the side of the machine. There will be 2 on the left and 2 on the right. These 4 screws are holding on the front cover to the washing machine. As you can see from this photo, I used the handle of the needle nose pliers to help keep the door open while I was getting to the screws. Now that the screws are removed on both sides, disconnect that little hose right there. Make sure and shut off the power to this before you move any further. And this lid is able to be tipped back now, and then lift up on it. Now that I have the face cover off a little bit, I can show you a little bit better. These are little hooks that hook onto these in 1, 2, 3 spots. And next you will disconnect this right here. When you press down on the short side of this coupler, you will notice that it will wiggle or move a little bit, and that's how you detach the 2 sides from each other. Set that aside. This little red cord here, remove that from there, and this little pull out part looks like it's some type of emergency kind of
disengagement to the locking mechanism here, but not going to mess with that. So now that I have this off, it might be a little easier to see the problem, which is right there. You can see the lid handle is popped up and is holding it down. So once that is pushed down, the drawer should open up easily. The spring mechanism, since the lid's broken, forces it upwards rather than its standard position of downwards after it's locked, which forces it to create a little lip that catches on the inside of the washer. I found this lid on Amazon. It was pretty cheap, and it's a really bad engineering flaw design where they just use this cheap plastic with two little points here. I can see this side's actually fractured also. My recommendations for closing the lid is actually using two hands to close it down so that you put a minimal amount of stress on these 2 points, since this lid was designed so poorly. The next step to this process is taking out these hinge pins. This hinge pin is barrel shaped. It looks like you might need to take care of these screws, but that's not the case, and it has like a flat side that looks like you could put a screwdriver in and turn, but that's not the case either. There is a little bump on this barrel right here, and if you depress it a little bit and then grab some type of object, you can just push it outwards just like that and remove that just like so. And then once again for that side, and the lid will come right off. Alright, so here's the lid. This is what the pin is. That's the little lip I was discussing right there.
The replacement lid comes with new pins, so the old lid, the seal, and the pins are all garbage. Feel free to throw those away after you've installed the new lid. When your washer is pulled out fully, on the top right corner there is a tag that has the serial number and model number of your unit. This will be helpful in determining that you have the proper lid for your unit. On my unit, I have circled the model number and also showed you the product number of the actual lid for my washer.
Now that you've installed the new lid and put the hinge pins in, close the lid, close the drawer about 50%. We're going to install this little emergency pin back in. Make sure the string is in the up position, like so. This gives you enough room for your string. Re-clip it into its little holder. Bring that aligned up. Connect your power. And place this on the 3 hooks and place it back up. It should stay in place, and then you will reinstall your screws here, here, and don't forget to reinstall the tube so that the water doesn't spill out.
Congratulations, you just saved yourself a few $100 and waiting for a service repair person to come out and fix your washer. I will put a link to the lid that I used for this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Until next time, thanks.